Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to a brand new edition of the Global Online Quiz. My name is Yulinka. As always, it is my pleasure to be your quizmaster. And as always, I'm coming to you from the studio here in Eindhoven, the Netherlands, where, as you can see, Bob and I are ready, fired up and ready to go with a brand new November edition of the quiz number 51. Can you believe it? If you are joining us live for the premiere of today's quiz, you will notice that we have the chat going as well. So please say hello to our moderator, Guido, on the chat. If you get a chance, let him know where your team are playing from, what your team name is. We love to hear from all of you. That goes for the whole game, of course. Throughout the game, we like to hear how you guys are doing. So don't be shy. Share your thoughts on each round and your results with Guido on the chat here. And if you're joining us a little bit later, then you are still very welcome to keep your scores throughout the game and submit them at the end of it. So more on that in a bit, on how to do that, especially for our new players. But for those new players, allow me to also explain to you what you can expect from this quiz. In case it's your first one, you never know, we might have some newbies out there. So we have this QR code, which is going to appear up on screen a number of times throughout today's quiz, and it can be used to do several things. You can use this link here under the code, or just scan the code and it will take you there to submit a cool team photo. So we can share that in the next show, which is going to be our festive December edition. You can also, if you find yourself enjoying today's quiz, make a contribution, which will help us to keep in business, keep making more quizzes for you in the future. Finally, I really hope that you'll all submit your results for today's quiz, and you can do that through this link as well, so we can include them in that global online ranking. So if you're playing live with us, fantastic. You can do that today, but know that if you're rewatching this quiz at a later time, more convenient for your team, you can still submit for a full 2 weeks after the show has premiered. So keep that in mind. Don't be shy. Do share those scores with us so we can include you in that global online ranking. Now, a quick reminder for our regulars, but more importantly, a quick explanation for those newbies. As promised, we have one rule on this quiz. I think it's a very straightforward one. We don't allow the use of any aids other than your collective brains. So obviously there's no Googling, no online or offline research, and I trust you all to play fairly. We've got, as always, 6 rounds of 10 questions coming your way. The idea being that you can either take our answer sheets, which are available through the website, or any old piece of paper. Make sure you have a couple sheets of paper, number them 1 to 10 from top to bottom, and you'll be good to go. And you can keep score yourself. So we trust you to do that fairly, and I will share the scoring for each question with you throughout the game. We'll have a break as well. We'll do that after round 3. So especially for those teams joining us during the premiere who don't want to press pause, obviously that will give you an opportunity to refresh your drinks or make a quick bathroom pit stop. So that is today's program, and that means we're now going to get you started on our first round of questions. And it's a long-standing tradition that we kick you off with a picture round. Today is certainly no exception to that rule. So what we're going to be showing you this week are, it's a night at the opera, we've dubbed it, but it's also a night at the concert hall, actually. We're going to show you 10 opera houses, famous ones, and concert halls around the globe. And I'm actually, because we thought this was a rather tricky one to just throw at you, we're going to make it a little bit easier. I'll give you the names of the 10 countries where they can be found. Those will appear on screen. So all you need to do is to solve the puzzle correctly and to link the correct country to each of the photographs we see. Because we have those connections there, we figured we'd show them to you once for 20 seconds on end, so you can have a proper look at each photo, and then it will go straight into miniatures afterwards, showing you all 10 photographs and allowing you to finalize your answers. So 10 concert halls and opera houses around the globe. Let's see if you can link each one to the country where it can be visited. Welcome back, everyone. So I hope you enjoyed that puzzle we prepared for you on round number 1, and I hope you managed to link each photo to the correct country. It's time to swap answer sheets. If you're playing in a local competition against other teams, we always recommend swapping sheets in that case, as it really can add to the fun, checking each other's answers and results. Or just whip out that red pen and start marking away at your own results. Here we go with the answers for round number 1. First up, this photograph. This is the Royal Albert Hall, and we are in the United Kingdom here. Next up, beautiful building, in my humble opinion at least. This is the Elbphilharmonie. It's in Hamburg, Germany. So this is where you should have answered Germany for number 2. The National Center of the Performing Arts. This is China, which you may have guessed from the design, even if you weren't familiar with the building just yet, I think. Number 4, next up is, we're going back to Europe. Beautiful classical opera house. This is the Opéra de Paris. We are in France with number 4. Next up, another world famous opera house, perhaps even the most famous, the La Scala in Milano. We are in Italy for number 5. Number 6, a bit more modern, this design, and it's actually the Walt Disney Concert Hall that we see here. Frank Gehry design, which you may have recognized there. We are in the United States for number 6. Number 7, we travel back to Europe, and this is a bit of an older addition to the program today. The Odeon of Herodes Atticus. We are in Greece with photo number 7. Number 8, we leave Europe for another moment. This is the Teatro Colón. We are in Argentina with this one. Number 9, again, a bit more of a modern design here. Rather beautiful, I think. We are in Valencia, Spain, with this rather stunning piece of architecture. And finally, the interior, because the exterior would have been a bit too on the nose for this one. It's the Sydney Opera House we see. We are in Australia with number 10. So that was all of them. And if you are joining us for the premiere, then now is the time to share your results on the chat with our moderator, Guido, and of course, all of the other teams who are joining the fun live. Let us know how you did. We'll give you a minute to write down your results and share them on the chat if you're joining us live. And then we'll carry on with round number 2. And with that, it's time for our first mixed bag round of the day, a long-standing tradition being that we kick off that first mixed bag with a fun with flags question. For this particular one, we have created a bit of a map of flags, I suppose I can say. We see some flags here, and the idea is that there is one missing in the center here. What we see are the neighboring countries of a certain nation, but we have left out the flag of that nation. So in order to complete this flag map, shall we say, which country's flag should we place in the center of it all is my first question to you for number 1. Question number 2. This week, we see, at least if you're joining us for the premiere, this week is also the premiere of the FIFA World Cup. A bit of an interesting and rather controversial edition. So we thought instead of focusing on that one, why not do a bit of a throwback to one of the previous FIFA World Cups, the 1994 edition to be exact. It was held in the US. And it must have been the 90s that made for so many of the shirts for this particular edition, the jerseys, to end up high indeed on the top 10 list of ugliest World Cup jerseys that we found online. And all the lists agree that these definitely made the cut. Can you name the country to match? So interestingly, many of those shirts that are in the top 10 list of ugliest World Cup jerseys of all time are from the 1994 edition. For half a point each, identify the 4 nations who played in these lovely, colorful outfits at the time. Let's have a closer look. On to number 3 we go. And as always, this is a picture connection. In this case, I'd like you to tell us what connects all of the famous people we see on screen here. So what connects all of the celebrities we see on screen here is question number 3. Question number 4. So we see some interesting animals on screen here, and they have something in common, just like with those people in question 3. In this case, they have in common that they're all endemic to the same island nation. Which country connects all of them? So which country are all of these animals that we see on screen here endemic to? For number 4. On the topic of film, we zoom in on the lovely Miss Julia Roberts for question number 5. I'm going to give you the names of 4 characters, all portrayed by Julia Roberts in various movies. Can you name the film she played each role in? So let's have a look at them. The first one I have for you is A. Vivian Ward. In which movie did Julia Roberts portray the character Vivian Ward? Next up, in which film did she play Darby Shaw? We also have on offer C, Anna Scott. And finally, for D, can you tell me in which film did she portray the character Elizabeth Gilbert? So identify all 4 films for half a point each, if you can. on to a bit of history and travel for number 6. Most religious buildings are built, but not in the case of the 11 churches of Lalibela. These churches are rock-hewn, constructed, if you could use that word, around the year 1200. They're named after King Gebre Meskel Lalibela of the Zagwe dynasty, who wanted to recreate the holy city of Jerusalem in his own kingdom. The churches are still in use today as a place of worship and were added to the UNESCO World Heritage List in 1978. In which African country can you find these churches? So the churches, 11 churches of Lalibela, which are rock-hewn, and they were constructed, if we could use that term, in around about the year 1200. So where would we have to go in Africa to visit these interesting buildings? Question number 7. When naming the Baltic states, they're usually read out from north to south, right? Estonia, Latvia, and then Lithuania. But what if we go about the order in a different way? Can you put them in the right order for us, starting with the Baltic state with the most inhabitants and finishing with the one with the least? So can you put the Baltic states, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania in order for us based on the number of inhabitants, starting with the highest number? Question number 8. It is November, and though we had an exceptionally warm October here in the Netherlands with sort of 20 degrees and sunny temperatures, it was almost like summer. It really is very much autumn now, and we're getting quite a bit of rain, and that inspired us to present to you this art question that we see on screen here. I'm looking for the name of the artist who painted each of these rainy and stormy scenes for us. So can you identify the artist to match each work of art for half a point each? And on to a bit of science history we go for question number 9. We see some scientists on screen here, and I have a tale to match. First up, on the left-hand side, we see a Hungarian physicist and scientist regarded as an early pioneer of antiseptic procedures. He discovered that the incidence of childbed fever could be drastically reduced by requiring hand disinfection in clinics. Despite various publications in which hand washing reduced mortality rates to below 1%, the physician was mocked for his findings, mainly because he couldn't offer a theoretical explanation for them. Only years after his death, his findings were widely accepted when a French microbiologist, the man we see on the right here, offered the theoretical explanation at long last. Can you name both the Hungarian and French scientists in question for half a point each? So the Hungarian and the French scientist names, please, for half a point each on number 9. And just like that, we've made it to number 10 on the list for round number 2. As always, we're going to finish on a movie question. And it's another connection, which is also a long-standing tradition here at the Global Online Quiz. So we're about to show you 3 short clips from famous films and television shows. And I'm looking for a single word to logically connect them all. So identify the single word linking all of these movies and shows together.
Being so much like your father.
Do not compare me to my father.
I didn't compare you to him. I said you were acting like him.
You're exactly like your mother. Everything you're complaining about her, you're doing. You're suffocating Henry.
First of all, I love my mother. She was a wonderful mother.
Just repeating what you told me.
Secondly, how dare you compare my mothering to my mother? I may be like my father, but I am not like my mother.
You are!
Oh, Bonnie, that is so clever.
Hello, I'm Forky. Nice to meet you.
Well, hello, Forky. It's nice to meet you. I'm Miss Wendy.
A world that is vast and eternal, treacherous and dazzling, unforgettable and free. For anyone who's ever made a wish, believed in a fantasy, or had a dream.
And that is it for round number 2. We're going to give you, as always, a bit more time to finalize your answers before we reveal what they should have been. So use your time wisely, and I'll be back shortly with those answers to round 2. Okay, welcome back, everyone. Time to swap sheets once more. If you're in a local competition, here we go with answers to round two. We started out with that map of flags and we sought the one that should go in the middle here, and that's this one, Thailand. We saw all of its neighbors, and Thailand was the country we needed in the middle there for the points. Number two, with the World Cup kicking off, we looked back at the 1994 World Cup, which produced some interesting kit designs, including the ones we see here in photo A. This is the goalkeeper for Mexico that year. We also have Germany. We have Nigeria's interesting outfit for the 1994 World Cup. And finally, the USA, the host nation. Number three, what connects all of the famous people we see on screen here was the next question. We see Kate Moss, we see actress Elizabeth Moss, we see Ron Moss from perhaps most famous from The Bold and the Beautiful. though he was also in a band. And Carrie Ann Moss is the name of that actress, whom you may know from The Matrix, among other things. So Mosses all around. Moss was the name connecting them all. Number 4, there was also a connection to be found here, and it is in the name of the island nation that is home to all of these creatures. The kakapo, the tuatara, the kiwi, and the Archie's frog, they're all from New Zealand. New Zealand for a point on number 4. Number 5, the characters played by Julia Roberts. And here we see them. Vivian Ward is her character in Pretty Woman. Darby Shaw in The Pelican Brief. Anna Scott in Notting Hill. And Elizabeth Gilbert in Eat, Pray, Love for half a point each. The religious buildings that were rock-hewn rather than constructed, the churches of Lalibela, can be found in Ethiopia. Ethiopia, constructed around the year 1200 there, and still going strong, still in use even in that nation. Number 7, the Baltic states in order, starting with the one with the most inhabitants. That would be Lithuania, 2.8 million roundabout. Next up is Latvia, which is close to 2 million, 1.9 roughly. And Estonia, finally, is the smallest in terms of inhabitants, 1.3 million. So if you got that order right, it's another point towards your grand total on round 2. Number 8, November, the weather is getting a bit worse here in Europe, and we showed you some rainy and stormy scenes. The first one is the Rue de Paris, Temps de Pluie by Gustave Caillebotte. Next up, this is a Dutch entry to the art question here, Vincent van Gogh. Rain is the title of this piece of art. And finally, The Great Wave of Kanagawa, Katsishima Hokusai. But we'll settle for his last name. If you didn't get the first name, you would be very much forgiven. For number 9, the Hungarian physicist who tried so hard to explain to the world why antiseptic procedures are crucial is Ignaz Semmelweis. And the man who finally convinced the world of his findings is Louis Pasteur, because he was able to back them up with some actual scientific evidence. So half a point each on both of these gentlemen's names. And that leaves us with one more point waiting to be picked up, which was that final question there. We saw a clip from Marriage Story. Wonderful movie, though quite a sad one. Toy Story 4 was in the mix, and finally The Never Ending Story. So each of the films we saw had the word story in its title. So all of that makes for a grand total of 12.5 points you could have earned on this round. I'll give you a minute now to calculate your scores. Again, if you're joining us for the premiere, then don't forget to share your results with Guido and the other teams on the chat. And we'll move right into round 3 after this, which is a special themed round we've prepared for you. And that's it for round two. Into round three, we dive our themed round. And this week, the theme is 10cc. Now, don't worry, this is not a round entirely dedicated to the band 10cc, if that is what you were thinking, nor to the origin of their band name, which, if you don't know what that is, feel free to look it up. I won't be sharing it here. Now, last week we had a really cool mystery theme round, but I do believe I made it a little harder than it should have been with one particular question on the topic of several musicians, including Nicki Minaj. I claimed that she had the song Spaceships, but of course, although it's a spaceship themed song, it's actually called Starships. So I'm really sorry for any confusion we caused, and it definitely wasn't intentional that we made that connection extra hard for you. But I do hope you enjoyed that round. A lot of love went into it in spite of this boo-boo. And now for the 10cc round that we've prepared for this week, just keep it in mind that the theme is 10cc. I won't tell you exactly what that means, but I think you'll figure it out soon enough, and it will definitely help you narrow things down in deciding on your answers for these 10 questions. So let's get you started. Question number one. Which French fashion designer is credited with creating the little black dress in the 1920s? It's intended to be long-lasting, versatile, affordable, and widely accessible. That was the idea. And being so widely known, its name is usually abbreviated to just LBD. So the little black dress, which French fashion designer is responsible for this idea? And on to question number two we go. This American comedian and actor is best known for his work on National Lampoon and Saturday Night Live. He's also known for appearing in the 1986 Paul Simon music video, You Can Call Me Al, mimicking the song's lyrics in that particular video. What is his name? So an American comedian and actor, perhaps best known for National Lampoon and for being on Saturday Night Live. Question number three. This may be a bit of a challenge for some of our younger participants, but let's see if you can figure it out with the help of our theme. Can you tell me the name of the band fronted by singer Boy George? They were particularly successful in the first half of the 1980s with Do You Really Want to Hurt Me, Time, and Karma Chameleon being some of their biggest hits. So name that band fronted by the man we see here, Boy George. Onto some history we go for number four. For this question, we travel back in time all the way to the days of the French Revolution. On July 13th of the year 1793, the French revolutionary Jean-Paul Marat was stabbed to death in his bathtub. A member of the Montagnards, a radical faction active during the French Revolution, he was killed by a young woman. A member of the Girondins faction who saw Marat as a threat to the public. The murder was the subject of a famous, world-famous painting, The Death of Marat, by fellow revolutionary Jacques-Louis David. But for this question, I'm looking for the name of his assassin, who was executed 4 days later. What was her name? We see her on screen here. So who was responsible for that famous Death of Marat? Question number 5, short but sweet this one. What does CC stand for when sending an email? We've all done it, we've all CC'd someone, but what does that stand for? It'll earn you a point on number 5. Question number 6 is on the topic of this lovely lady. This Italian actress first rose to fame through her role in the Federico Fellini movie Otto e Mezzo. But she's probably best known for her role as Jill McBain in the 1968 spaghetti western Once Upon a Time in the West. Fantastic movie. During the 60s, she was being cited as the most popular film star in Italy, even more so than Marcello Mastroianni and Sofia Loren. What is her name? So perhaps most famous for portraying Jill McBain in Once Upon a Time in the West. Name this actress, if you can. On to question 7. Can you give me the name of the cruise ship that struck a rock in the Tyrrhenian Sea in January of 2012 and sank? Of the over 3,000 passengers and 1,000 crew members, 32 souls were lost. And later on, Captain Francesco Schettino was found guilty of manslaughter, causing a maritime accident and abandoning his ship. So what was the name of that ship? Do you recall? It'll earn you a point on number 7. Question number 8. The origins of this sweet treat are disputed, with England, France, and Switzerland all laying claim to its invention. According to the culinary heritage of Switzerland, it's especially popular there for celebrating the birthdays of children. Most modern recipes have a white cream cheese frosting, and the batter always contains a specific type of root vegetable. What sweet treat have I just described? So its origins are disputed. England, France, and Switzerland all lay claim to it, and it's popular for celebrating birthdays of children in Switzerland. In particular, name this sweet treat. Question number 9 on the topic of music. For this one, I'm looking for one of the most popular Latin artists of the 20th century. Born in 1925 in Cuba, she rose to fame in the 50s as a singer of guarachas. After the Cuban Revolution, she moved to Mexico and later on to the United States. She recorded a whopping 37 albums and won several Grammy Awards and Latin Grammy Awards, earning her the nickname Queen of Salsa. She died in 2003. What was her name? So can you identify this Queen of Salsa for question number 9? And here comes question number 10. We go to Florida in the US. Can you tell me which Florida location is the primary launch site for NASA? It's located near the Kennedy Space Center. So what is the name of that primary launch site for NASA in Florida? For number 10. And that concludes our themed round number 3. We'll give you a bit more wrap-up time before we go in to revealing the answers. Okay, welcome back, everyone. Time to swap sheets once more if you are part of a little or big local competition. Here we go. It's answer time for that 10cc round in which the initials for each answer, of course, were ACC. And the first was our fashion designer responsible for that little black dress, popular to this day. Coco Chanel was behind that. Number 2, the American comedian we were in search of is Mr. Chevy Chase, perhaps best known for those National Lampoon movies. We'll be seeing National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation on television pretty soon, I'm guessing. Number 3, the band fronted by Boy George. We see them on screen here. Are Culture Club. And the lady who assassinated Jean-Paul Marat and was herself executed a few days later was Charlotte Corday. Her name can even be seen on that note there, which Marat holds in his hand in the famous painting by Jacques-Louis David. CC in sending an email. That was our next question, stands for carbon copy. And for number 6, the Italian actress, famous, perhaps most famous in many countries for Once Upon a Time in the West, Claudia Cardinale, for number 6. The name of that cruise ship, did you remember? It was the Costa Concordia. When the ship first made impact with the rock, it was claimed that Celine Dion's My Heart Will Go On was playing in the restaurant. I wonder if there's any truth to that urban legend. The sweet treat I was in search of for question number 8 would have tied in rather nicely with last week's theme round as well. It was carrot cake we were in search of. Disputed its origins. Was it England or Switzerland or the UK? Who knows? Celia Cruz is the lady we see on screen here, the queen of salsa, who earned you a point on number 9. And finally, the launch site for NASA in Florida is Cape Canaveral. Cape Canaveral, our final double C answer there. And I think you've just about earned yourselves a break. What we'll do first, of course, is give you some time to calculate your score. The max score was 10, of course, on this round. Once you've done that, if you're joining us live, don't forget to share it on the chat with Guido and the other teams. And then we're going to have a peek at a few team photos that were submitted before we go into the break. Okay, now after our last edition of the Global Online Quiz, number 50, that went up online in October, we had a whopping 3 teams submit a team photo. So I did want to share them with you because we still think it's a lot of fun to have a little peek into each other's living rooms, and I hope they will inspire many other teams to submit a team photo for our upcoming edition so we can share it. So the team pictures that were submitted this time around, let's have a look at the first one. Now we have the Blurry Hotties with a brand new team name joining us from France and Germany. And I can certainly see what inspired that team name. Thank you guys so much for sharing. Again, you were of course part of the last edition as well. So keeping this tradition going with us, we appreciate it. On to our next team we go, and of course, everyone knows these guys by now, and they have a little sign up there celebrating our 50th edition. Rio Rules, joining us as always from England and Brazil, and I love the little pets cuddled up in the back there. Oh, little Ginger, who reminds me very much of my own cat. Hutch is his name, and hunting for food is his game. And on to our final team who submitted a photo with a really cool team name as well. The Vikings, who join us from northern Norway. Look at this. It looks like a very nice setup you have there. And I can just see the focus on those faces. That's some serious quizzing going on there in northern Norway. So thank you all so much for sharing, and let this be an inspiration to many other teams. I hope you'll consider submitting a team photo through WhatsApp. That's something you can do through the QR code that's about to go up on screen during the break. That same code can of course be used to make a contribution if you find yourself enjoying today's quiz. So we will report back to you in exactly 5 minutes from now with another mixed bag round, another cool themed round, and of course some music for the grand finale. See you in 5. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, beautiful people of the world. It's time for part 2 of today's quiz. And before we move on to the next round, as always, I'd like to take a moment to thank everyone who's already chipped in. If you contributed, allowing us to keep making more quizzes for you in the future. We really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. It means a lot. This link, by the way, even if you're rewatching this quiz at a later time, more convenient for you and your team, remains open. So you can always chip in at any given time, and I hope you'll consider doing that. Now, a quick note before we move on. Our next quiz will be in December, and it won't surprise you to learn that it's going to be a great holiday-themed one. On December 17th, we'll do our holiday special that will allow you and your team to get into the trivia mood with some winter cheer and a lovely, December-themed question. So it won't be a whole Christmas quiz, nothing like that, but we'll definitely be spreading the holiday cheer. And we can, of course, also create a custom online quiz for you or for your company. That is how we actually make a living over here at Number 42. It's not this quiz. We're just trying to cover some of the cost and stay connected with all of you wonderful trivia lovers out there. But what we actually do is create online custom quizzes for companies around the world, and also in real life quizzes for companies in the Netherlands, Belgium, Germany, sort of the places we can easily reach. We will happily come to you this holiday season and create a custom quiz online or in real life. We also have some really cool events coming up during the holiday season here in Eindhoven for any of our quizzers who are a bit closer to the studio. Please do consider coming out to meet us during one of those events. All of the details can be found for any of those corporate quizzes and live quizzes on our website. So feel free to check it out. And with that, let's move you on to our next round of questions. It's our second and final mixed bag for quiz number 51. And let's get you started. My first question that I have for you on this round is travel themed. Can you give me the name of the largest country in the world without a single land border? So what is the largest nation in the world without a land border is our first question. You can have a little think on that for number 1. Question number 2. Literature is the topic for this one. On screen, we see 4 books. What they have in common is each one has the name of a country featured in its title, but those countries have been covered up for the purposes of this question. Which 4 nations are we looking for here? We have Ira Levin's The Boys from Somewhere, Daphne du Maurier, Somewhere In. We have E.M. Forster's A Passage to Where? And finally, Yung Chang, Wild Swans, 3 Daughters of which nation? That is the question. Try and get all 4 of them for half point each on number 2. And on to number 3, another connection we've prepared for you, a picture connection that is. What logically ties together these 4 seemingly unrelated images is what we'd like to know. So try and find the connection between all of them. Let's have a closer look. On to rather a challenging question, at least I think, but we'll see how you do on the topic of science. So here's one for all you science lovers out there. I'm going to ask you to put a few things in the correct order with us, starting with the lowest number, working your way up to the highest one. I have on offer today A, the number of flavors of quarks, B, the atomic number of the element oxygen, C, the number of sides of a trapezoid or trapezium, if you like, and D, the lowest prime number. So if we take all four of these and put them in the correct order, starting with the lowest one, what would we have with A, B, C, D? Try and get all of them in their proper places. Question number 5. From the wonderful world of film, we have collected some photographs. Photographs that clearly show a hotel in them. And each of these hotels was rather prominently featured in a movie. Can you name the film to match each hotel for half a point each? So identify the 3 movies if you can. On to some more history we go for number 6. And it's everything to do with the remarkable woman we see on screen here. It's actually to do with 2 remarkable women. Mary Wollstonecraft is the lady we see on screen here. She was a writer as well as a philosopher, with her work A Vindication of the Rights of Woman being seen as one of the earliest works of feminist philosophy. For over a century after her death, she was better known, though, for her unorthodox lifestyle. For instance, living together unmarried with a man, which destroyed her reputation. Oh, history. She died in 1797 at just 38 years old, 11 days after giving birth to her daughter. And that daughter would grow up to become quite famous in her own right as the author of a very popular Gothic novel. The book was published in 1818 and it had the subtitle The Modern Prometheus. Which famous author is the daughter of Mary Wollstonecraft? So she gave birth to this lady who would go on to be an author in her own right and passed away just 11 days later. The book she wrote was a very popular Gothic novel released in 1818, and I am looking for the daughter's name here for 1 point on number 6. Question number 7. You probably noticed that Kate Bush made a bit of a comeback this year with her song Running Up That Hill. It was used in the 4th season of the popular TV series Stranger Things, in which Kate Bush is the favorite character of the favorite artist of the character Max. And because of that, the song reached number 1 once more in the United Kingdom, and it also made the top 3 of the Billboard Hot 100 in the US. The most used segment in the series are the first 4 words of the song. What are those first 4 words is my question to you. So whether you know this from watching Stranger Things or because you are a lover of Kate Bush, it'll earn you a point either way. What are the first 4 words to that song, Running Up That Hill, that made a comeback this year? Question number 8. Can you tell me the names of the 4 countries that are located wholly, so in their entirety, south of the Tropic of Capricorn? So there's only 4 countries in the whole wide world that are entirely below the Tropic of Capricorn. Can you name them all? They're worth half a point each. On to number 9 we go. For this one, I'm in search of the name for a particular type of robust liquid container, originally made from pressed steel. It was designed in Germany in the 1930s for military use, with the idea of holding 20 liters of fuel. And it saw widespread use by both Germany but also the Allies during the Second World War. The name of this specific type of container comes from a slang word describing its German origins. What is that name? So a type of robust liquid container originally made from pressed steel. Last but not least, we go to a travel-themed question for number 10. We see 4 photographs, 3 of which were taken in the same country. Which country is that, is my question to you. And I'd also like to know which photo is the odd one out. It doesn't belong in the set because it was actually taken in a different country altogether. So identify the country linking 3 of these photographs and then tell us which one is the odd one out. And just like that, you've made it through yet another mixed bag round. We'll give you a bit more wrap-up time to finalize those answers before we go into revealing what they should have been. And welcome back once more. Time to swap sheets. If you're in a local competition, here come the answers for our second mixed bag round of the day. First up, it was the largest country in the world without a land border we were in search of, and that nation is Australia for 1 point on number one. I hope you got that. Bob behind the buttons here was like, is this a trick question? No, Bob, they're not all trick questions. Next up, for half a point each, it's the boys from Brazil. It's Jamaica in A Passage to India, and also Three Daughters of China. So Brazil, Jamaica, India, and China each earned you half a point on this week's literature question. Number three, the connection between all of the images we showed you. We see Guy Fawkes, or at least a Guy Fawkes mask. We see Guyana, Guy Ritchie, and the movie Free Guy. So each of these had the name or the word Guy hiding in there somewhere. Number four, a rather tricky science question we gave you. So in the correct order, you should have started with the lowest prime number. That is 2. The number of sides on a trapezoid is 4. The number of flavors of quarks is 6. And the atomic number of oxygen, finally, is 8. So DCAB is what you should have answered for full marks. Now, I thought this was quite tricky, so you know what? If you swap two that were directly next to one another, you can go ahead and award yourselves half a point there. I think that's only fair. For number 5, the 3 hotels in film. Can you name the movie to match each one? The first is known as the Overlook Hotel in The Shining. Next up, we see Hotel Rwanda, or at least the hotel used in that film. And finally, that shiny pink one there is the Grand Budapest Hotel. So those are our 3 movies. Number 6, Mary Wollstonecraft gave birth to a rather famous author whom we see on screen here. This is Mary Shelley, whom you may know from Frankenstein, subtitled The Modern Prometheus. Number 7, Kate Bush made a bit of a comeback this year thanks to Stranger Things. The first 4 words in that song, Running Up That Hill, are It Doesn't Hurt Me, which are also featured on that 4th season rather prominently. Apparently, I haven't seen it yet. I'm looking forward to it. I'll hopefully get around to it by the end of the year, perhaps. Number 8, which 4 countries are wholly located south of the Tropic of Capricorn was the question. Now, this was a tricky one. So great work if you got all 4 of them, but it's half a point each. I can imagine that maybe you missed 1 or 2 here. Eswatini, or Swaziland, is one of those small ones that's wholly under the Tropic of Capricorn, because South Africa does peep out a bit there, as is Lesotho. So those are the ones in Africa that'll earn you points. New Zealand, also in its entirety below the Tropic of Capricorn, as is Uruguay. So these were our 4 answers for half a point each. Did you know the origin story for this liquid container? I wonder. I thought it was a really cool story. I actually never made the connection. It is the origin story for the jerry can. So jerry's obviously being the nickname for the Germans during World War II. And the jerry can gets its name from that nickname. The 4 photos we saw in question number 10 were almost exclusively taken in Singapore, but not all of them. Photo D is actually taken in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and that was thus our odd one out. So Singapore for half a point and another half a point if you identified D as being the odd one out. That once again gives us a grand total of 12.5 points. And do let Guido know and your fellow teams joining you if you're here live for the premiere today how you did on round number 4. We had some really tricky questions in there, so I wonder if anyone managed to get close to a perfect score. We'll give you a minute now and then we'll dive into our next themed round for number 5. time for round number 5. And yes, it's been a while, so we have returned with a fresh answer smash for round number 5. Still remains one of our favorite topics. We're switching it up a bit with round 5 throughout the various editions, but we felt it was answer smash time. If we have any newbies in the house watching the quiz, the idea is that we basically give you 2 questions, and there is an overlapping element in those where we smash them together. So one answer might be Dirty Harry, the next answer might be Harry Potter, and the answer smash for the full marks would then be Dirty Harry Potter. Now, some of them could be a bit longer as well. It doesn't always have to be just the 3 words, but there's always that overlapping element in the middle there. Now, of course, our regulars know exactly how this works, so let's get you cracking on a fresh answer smash round. For number 1, I'm looking for the US singer known for her hit songs Theme from Mahogany, Upside Down, and I'm Coming Out. And she meets a character from Friends, portrayed by David Schwimmer. So take that US singer, smash her together with the Friends character, and you have yourselves answer smash number 1. On to number 2. This one we kick off with a bit of Shakespeare. Can you start this smash with the 6-word line spoken by Hamlet and followed by the sentence, "That is the question"? That's the first part of this smash. And then we put it together with a French social media application released in 2020, with its main feature being a daily notification that encourages its users to share one photo of themselves and their immediate surroundings. So take that famous line from Hamlet and smash it together with that French social media app. For number 3, we start off with a metal device designed to prevent a building from being struck by lightning. Take that device and smash it together with a British singer known for the hits Maggie May, Sailin', and Do You Think I'm Sexy? So take that metal device and smash it together. Not too hard though. He's an older man now with that British singer's name. And we start Answer Smash number 4 with a song by the ladies we see here, the Crystals. It was a hit back in 1963, and the opening line to the song is, "I met him on a Monday, and my heart stood still." Take that hit song and smash it together with the name of the Anchorman, played by Will Ferrell in a 2004 comedy movie. So take that hit from the 60s by the Crystals and smash it together with the name of this Anchorman. On to question number 5. For this one, we take the smallest country in continental America, which gives it the nickname the Tom Thumb of the Americas. So the smallest nation in continental America is the first part of this smash, together with a Spanish surrealist artist who's perhaps best known for the painting The Persistence of Memory. So take that country and smash it together with the artist, and you have answer smash number 5. On to number 6 we go. For this one, we start with a US rock and roll singer nicknamed The Killer, known for hit songs such as Whole Lot of Shaking Going On, and perhaps even more famously, Great Balls of Fire. He recently passed away at the age of 87. Take the name of that rock and roll singer and smash it together with the British author of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. And what do we get for answer smash number 6? For number 7, we kick off with a romantic comedy. The movie was released in 2009 and stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Zooey Deschanel. Take that romantic comedy film and smash it together with the 1985 rock song by Bryan Adams with the opening line, I got my first real 6-string. So take that movie, smash it together with the song, and we have answer number 7. Time for number 8. For this one, we kick off with a historical component for the first half of the question. I seek the Welsh-American explorer famous for his search for fellow explorer David Livingstone. Take his name and smash it together with the prize awarded to the champion of the NHL. So that's the National Hockey League, an important trophy in ice hockey. But what is its name? So take that explorer and smash it together with the name of this trophy for number 8. Question number 9. For this one, we begin with the 1973 album by British rock band Pink Floyd, and we smash it together with a Marvel Comics character. The character was portrayed by Oscar Isaac this year in a Disney Plus TV series. So take that classic album from 1973 and smash it together with the Marvel Comics character we see on screen here, also portrayed by Oscar Isaac recently. Last but not least, question 10. We start with a Walt Disney character who first appeared in the 1934 cartoon The Little Wise Hen. Take that character and smash them together with the 1984 Nintendo Light gun shooter video game. And what do we end up with in this rather cruel final answer smash? And that's it for round number 5. We are nearing the finish line at a rather rapid pace. But before we go into revealing those answers, I will, of course, give you just a bit more wrap-up time on round 5. Okay, welcome back, guys. Time to swap sheets once more. Here come the answers to round number 5. First up, we kicked off with a US singer. Here we see her on screen, Diana Ross. And the name of that Friends character is Ross Geller. Diana Ross Geller for full marks on number 1. Now, in case we have any new players in the house who struggled a little bit with this round, I always say it's okay to award yourself half points for the bits of the answer that you did get. So I'll leave that up to your own discretion. For number 2, the 6-word sentence from Hamlet is to be or not to be. The app is be real, which gives us to be or not to be real for number 2. Number 3, the metal device I was in search of is a lightning rod. And the man, myth, and legend we see on screen here is Rod Stewart. So we get Lightning Rod Stewart. I'm sure he would approve. For number 4, the Crystals, that song. I met him on a Monday and my heart stood still. Da-do run, 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 da-do run, run. Da-do run, run, Burgundy in this case, which is the name of that anchorman. So da-do run, run, Burgundy for full marks on number 4. Rather fun answer smash, I thought. Thank you, Kido, for that one. Smallest country in continental America. It's nicknamed the Tom Thumb of the Americas. That would be El Salvador, smashed together with Salvador Dali. El Salvador Dali. Number 6, the U.S. rock and roll singer who is with us no more, Jerry Lee Lewis, smashed together with Lewis Carroll to produce Jerry Lee Lewis Carroll. Number 7, the romantic comedy film was 500 Days of Summer. The song is Summer of 69. 500 Days of Summer of 69 for full marks on number 7. Number 8, the Welsh American explorer, Dr. Livingstone, I presume, words spoken by Sir Henry Morton Stanley, whom we smashed together on this occasion with the Stanley Cup. So we get the Sir Henry Morton Stanley Cup. Number 9, the British rock band Pink Floyd came out with this album in 1973. It's called The Dark Side of the Moon, and that character is the Moon Knight. So we get The Dark Side of the Moon Knight on Answer Smash number 9. For number 10, the Disney character gives us a rather cruel answer smash to finish on. It's Donald Duck Hunt we were in search of. And I can just imagine that game with little Donald Ducks falling out of the sky and we're shooting at them. Oh, it's a bit sad. Let's not make Donald Duck Hunt. Don't do it, people. And that gives us a grand total of 10 points you could have earned. So take a second now to jot up your scores. So you have your results and you can submit that after we've played our final round. And don't forget to share them if you are joining us for the premiere live. All right, wonderful people. It's that time in the quiz where we go to music. Round number 6 coming your way. And as you can see today, we have decided to go around the world in song. What we've prepared are 10 hit songs, or little clips from them, that is, from artists that are from 10 different countries. I'll show you the flag of the country of origin for each artist as an extra clue. And as always, we simply want the artist and the song title for full marks. So you get half a point for each artist, half a point for each song title on this final round of 10 short music clips. I won't do any talking this round. I'll just let you enjoy it as a team. So each of the clips will run, then it will automatically go into a time ticker, allowing you to write down your answer before it then goes into the next clip. Then it will go into the miniatures of those flags, and then I'll report back to you at the end with all those correct answers. So enjoy the music round. We want the titles as well as the artist for full marks.
Baby, calm down, calm down. Yo, this your body, it puts in my heart for lockdown, oh lockdown. Yo, you sweet life, phantom, phantom. If I tell you say I love you, you know they for me, young girl, oh young girl. No, tell me no, 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 oh, 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 oh. Were stacked against us both. I will always love
from way back way. You know that I don't play. Streets not safe, but I never run away, even when I'm away. OT, OT, there's never much love when we go OT. I pray to make it back in one piece. I pray, I pray.
Maman dit travailler c'est bien, bien mieux qu'être mal accompagné. Pas vrai, où est ton papa? Dis-moi où est ton papa? Sans même devoir lui parler, il sait ce qui ne va pas. Ah sacré papa, dis-moi où es-tu caché? Ça doit faire au moins 1000 fois que j'ai compté mes doigts.
She grants my wishes like a genie in a bottle. Yeah, yeah, 'cause I'm the wizard of love, and I got the magic wand. All these other girls are tempting, but I'm empty when you're gone. They say, do you need me? Do you think I'm pretty?
I love your precious heart. I was standing, you were there. Two worlds collided, and they... Aikolana, buso wami, aukolana. Ilondoloze, zuhambe nami.
I tried carrying the weight of the world, but I only have two hands. Hope I get the chance to travel the world.
Welcome back, guys. I hope you enjoyed that final little musical trip around the world. It's time to make a final answer sheet swap. And here come the answers for round number 6. First up, a big hit for Rima. The song is Calm Down, and this artist is from Nigeria. So Rima, Calm Down, half a point each on number 1. Next up, we move to Brazil, where we met up with Sergio Mendes. Mas que nada is the name of that song. For number 3, we went to Norway. Aha's smash hit Take On Me was the song we played for you. And for number 4, it was the United Kingdom, represented today by Ed Sheeran with the song Overpass Graffiti. Number 5, Canada. Loads of artists to choose from there, famous ones. We picked Drake this time around with the song One Dance. So One Dance by Drake, half a point each. Number 6, we went to our lovely neighbors over in Belgium. Stromae with Papaute for half a point each. One of his bigger hits, very talented artist from Belgium. Number 7, a bit more tropical. This one, Jamaica, is the country of origin for Oh Me. And he had a smash hit with the song Cheerleader, which we played for you on number 7. Number 8 was Australia, represented today by INXS with the song Never Tear Us Apart. Number 9, Master KJ, featuring Nonche Mozicode and Burna Boy, but will settle for Master KJ. The song is Jerusalema, and it was a big hit for this South African artist. And finally, number 10, we went to Sweden, where the late Avicii performed Wake Me Up as our final tune on today's music round. So that gives us a grand total of 10 points you could have earned, and that means you can now start calculating your results for today's quiz. As always, you could have earned a maximum of 65 points. And don't forget, if you're joining us for the premiere today, to share your results with Guido. But also, if you're joining us later or during the premiere, doesn't matter. We really hope that you'll submit your score for that global online ranking. Our next quiz is going to be on December 17th. And as previously mentioned, it's going to be a really fun holiday-themed edition, something fun for everyone. So we're going to not just cover Christmas, but loads of different holidays and winter-themed questions from around the globe. So I really hope you'll be there with us. And it would be really cool to show some more team pictures. So don't be shy in submitting those. And if you do, hop on the WhatsApp. We'll put the QR code back up on screen in a moment. Then don't forget to also include your team name and where you're joining us from, so we can include all of that information in that final quiz this year. So as always, you can make a contribution using this QR code, and I really hope you'll consider doing that if you haven't done so already. Massive thank you to everyone who's already chipped in. We really do appreciate it, guys. Let us know in the comments section how you got along when you submit your score for today's quiz. You can also submit a comment, and I always read through all of them. We had loads of nice ones on the last quiz. Also some comments on my Nicki Minaj boo-boo. So again, my apologies for that, but many lovely responses of people who still really enjoy playing with us. So we love reading those. It really keeps us going. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. I hope you had a great time. On behalf of myself and Bob, it is time to say goodbye to you now from the studio here in Eindhoven. Wherever you are in the world, stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe, take care of yourselves, and I look forward to seeing you all again in December. Bye-bye.
to make time for your feelings, but you have to admit I already do. Let's just break it down to you and me uptown, dancing all around till the disco ball pops. But I have to be me, and everyone can see your anger is misplaced, and I'm gonna tell you, don't hate me 'cause I get attention. Don't turn me into what I'm not. I have to be me 24/7, and I ain't never gonna stop. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Oh, no, no, no. No, oh, oh, oh. And I ain't never gonna stop. Come on. Listen to me. I've tried so many times to tell you this is as good as I can be. Why isn't it enough to be faithful and also be the hit of the party? Let's just break it down to you and me uptown, dancing all around till the disco ball pops. But I have to be me, and everyone can see your anger is misplaced, and I'm gonna tell you, don't hate me 'cause I get attention. Don't turn me into what